calling all football fans in the UK, it's official. GFN Soccer TV has launched on Samsung TV Plus. All the banter, all the news, all the time. Hi and welcome along to a game of two halves with a smiling Mark Goldbridge there. I like to see him with a smile on his face because Manchester United won this weekend, right? So he's feeling a lot better about things, or at least I hope, he's feeling better about things. And listen, I'm smiling as well because not been a bad weekend at all for Arsenal as well. Finishing off this sort of next, this run of games up to the international break on top of the league. But first of all, let's start, Mark, with the big game of the weekend, and it was a very good game as well, a very entertaining game, right? Didn't it fail to deliver with another last-minute winner? It seems to be the hallmark of the season, isn't it? Last-minute goals for Chelsea. It was the youngster Estevao with a winner as Chelsea beat Liverpool 2-1. 3 defeats now in a row for Arne Slot, right? Even saw some Liverpool fans kind of getting a bit stuck into him, moaning, complaining. I was driving home the other night. I heard Liverpool fans getting stuck in and moaning about Salah. I mean, I was like, well, you got no chance nowadays. But what did you make of the game, and what have you made of the fallout? Because there has been a lot of people going pretty hard on Arne Slot.
Yeah, I mean, I first and foremost, I thoroughly enjoyed the game. I thought there was a great intensity to it. I think we know Chelsea have got a really good midfield, and so have Liverpool. And I think that it was an intriguing game to watch. I thought Liverpool started off quite well, and then Caicedo just scored an absolute rocket, and it was a brilliant goal. Very equal game. Liverpool did have chances to get back into it, and obviously took that chance. And then last 15 minutes, I thought could go either way. And then I think last 5 minutes, Chelsea wanted it more and won it. And I thought it was a really good game on a Saturday evening. And fair play to Chelsea, because we spoke about this on here last week. I think they're in a bit of a false position, losing 2 games with 10 men when I think they would have won probably both games. Certainly, I think they'd have beat Brighton. So, yeah, I think Chelsea felt they needed to win because they'd have been mid-table if they drew. And Liverpool probably, again, a little bit naive at the back. I think Van Dijk should have closed down Caicedo, even though it was a great goal. But to listen and hear some of the clips and stuff over yesterday about Liverpool, I find it, I mean, this is just modern football. We talk about it with Arsenal, United. I'm sure it's the same with other clubs. But looking at Liverpool as a massive rival in there, a massive rival for you in the title, I don't see how any genuine Liverpool fan can be moaning about Slot or Salah or this is, you're not winning every week. Like, it's just not gonna. You've won games yourself in the last minute, and you've not. You've lost 3 games in the last minute. Really, well, Galatasaray was 1-0, wasn't it? But the Palace and the Chelsea games. So I just think it's Liverpool aren't playing well at the moment. At some point they will play well, but criticising the manager.
When's that going to be though? When's that going to be, Mark? Maybe that's what some fans are moaning about because, they hadn't been playing well. I think a lot of people have recognised that this season, but they've been getting the results. Newcastle against Arsenal, they've been getting the results, but it's like that. It's run out now. And now, because when you're not playing well and you're winning the games, it's still all good. But now all of a sudden, it's like you're not playing well and you're losing, right? And, it was a big opportunity for them on against Chelsea. Chelsea missing both centre backs, but Liverpool didn't really get at them enough.
No, I think it's. I think the thing with Liverpool is, and obviously we'll talk about Arsenal, and is that Arsenal have more stability than last season because although they've made a lot of signings, they've still maintained their core of Gabriel, Saliba, Rice, Saka, Raya. Liverpool, I think losing Robertson and Trent doesn't get spoken about enough. I think that's a massive amount of leadership as well. And then obviously the tragic loss of Jota. I think a player like that, it was a very, very good player, and Liverpool fans will agree with that. And then Isak's coming late. Ekitike is young. Luis Diaz is another big loss. I mean, he's doing really well at Bayern. So I just think Liverpool do, in fairness, have quite a lot going on. It is a transition. I think they will start playing well at some point, but they're not playing well at the moment.
It's weird
And
because
we've got them next at Anfield, and I'm not actually scared of that. I'm not saying Liverpool aren't favourites, but I've watched all Liverpool games, and I'd be much more in fear of having to play Arsenal after the international break than Liverpool at the moment. Which says the question is, when are they going to start playing well?
yeah, when are they going to start playing well? And Mo Salah as well. He's having a bit of a by his very V high standards, but at the moment he's not looking anywhere near the player we've seen over the years.
He was poor on Sunday, wasteful as well. Like, there's lots of opportunities where, it was almost like watching Man United with Anthony or Rashford or Garnacho, where he cuts inside and he's not looking to pass, he's looking to shoot, almost trying to play his way out of form. I thought Cucurella did well against him. He will be back, but he doesn't look like at the moment that he's going to put the sort of numbers in that maybe he did last season. So there's always going to be a natural drop off with him anyway. But Liverpool need, in a way, it's not the end of the world. Liverpool need to find a way to function without Salah anyway. So that's what I mean about the transition. Salah's not as good as he was. They're not as good as they was and everyone's sort of waiting to see when they're going to click, if they're going to click. I mean, they've still got a very good midfield. Van Dijk, I think. Somebody said to me about Van Dijk a couple of weeks ago, he started leaving it to Konate. He sort of wants to be the spare man all the time, and that's fine. But you look at that Caicedo goal, he's got to step out and engage, and I don't know why he doesn't.
And I'll tell you what, it opened the door for Arsenal, who played just before Liverpool at home against West Ham. I was at the game, a game that, let's not forget, last year Arsenal lost this one, and the year before at home, right? But I've got to say, Mark, it's the most comfortable game I've ever seen. The phrase "a team never laid a glove on you," that is this one. West Ham they barely even got into Arsenal's box. They offered nothing really apart from just an absolute low block. And Arsenal had the tools to break it down. And it was Declan Rice who was getting a lot of stick off the West Ham fans, which I can never understand. But they give him a lot of grief when they come. But he had the last laugh, scoring the goal, and Saka scoring the penalty on his 100th game, and a very, very comfortable afternoon for Arsenal. You know what I mean? It's just completely untroubled. I think David Raya, he may as well have done this show. He had nothing to do, Mark. But it was a very easy win for Arsenal.
Obviously, I didn't see it because I was watching United. It was at the same time. But judging by Robbie's team of the week, this must be the greatest Arsenal performance ever, because literally it's mainly Arsenal. But
it's not mainly Arsenal, but like a lot of the defense is Arsenal, because they were rock solid. They West Ham and poor Bowen, didn't get nothing. I mean,
I'll have to take your word for it. But what I will say is that I think this result is massively significant for Arsenal, not just because it puts them top, but because of what you said about what happened last year. There's no point in going and doing something that they haven't really done in a title race, which is what they did at Newcastle last week, which is be 1-0 down in a tough place, come back and win it. There's no point doing that if you then don't go and beat West Ham at home. And I was sort of looking at this going, yeah, it's a home banker, but Arsenal have dropped points in these games before. So if I was an Arsenal fan, which I know you are, I'd be extremely happy with that. Some people might go, oh, standard 2-0 win, but these are the results that win your leagues. People think it's the Newcastle results, the Man City results. It's not for Arsenal. It's these. It's, the Aston Villas, the Evertons at home, where 2 points drop. Brighton, these are what cost you. And to be top at the second international break when Liverpool started the season so well, I think Arsenal at the moment are looking like the best team in the league. I mean, obviously there's another injury to Odegaard, which is a shame. But to be fair, the signings in the summer show why he made them, because they've already had injuries to Saliba, Saka, Odegaard. This is his second injury, Havertz, and
third injury.
Yeah. So they're able to deal with it at the moment.
Yeah, no, very true. And also, like you said, reversing a game that they lost in last season, even the game at Newcastle last year, that was a loss too. So, and to think, like you said, to this little mini break now, and you're top of the league, I think Mikel Arteta is going to be over the moon with that. Still very early in the season, of course, but for Manchester United, a big win as well. Ruben Amorim's been under a lot of pressure. All right, like you said, people probably look on it and say, well, Sunderland should be a standard win, but Sunderland been going very, very well at the moment. had a good win last week against Forest. So it's never going to be completely as easy as it suggests for Manchester United, but 2-0 winners in the end. You was at doing a watch along to the game. What did you make of United's performance?
Thought Sunderland. I will mention Sunderland first because they're the only team I hadn't watched in the Premier League this year, but obviously they've done really well. And it's normally really difficult when you're watching your team to analyse the opposition because you're so wrapped up. But I mean, I must admit, I thought Sunderland were crap. I really thought they were very disappointing. And I
you didn't say they were half decent.
No. I mean, I assume they're better than that because although United did play well, and you've always got to say if you play well, the opposition, but they left so much space. I mean, even on the Mason Mount goal, to knock a ball into the box and for him to take a touch and put it in the bottom corner, you don't expect that in the Premier League. So, and Mount had a good game. But look, Sunderland for me, they're the worst team we've played. I thought Burnley were better than them. So I don't know whether they just came in with the wrong mentality, but United came in with the right mentality. You know, against Brentford, we're like the old Spurs. We're like a light switch on off. You never know what you're going to get. And they turned up for this game. He made a couple of good changes, like Yoro back in the team, and the goalkeeper gave some stability. I thought he was very, very good.
Yeah.
Mason Mount was good, and Burmo had a good first half. Ahmad had a good first half, and everyone was up for it. And it was probably the perfect game for us. I still think there's problems in the midfield. I still think there's a lot of space. I think if we played a decent team on Saturday, it would have been a lot closer, but perfect game for United. They did respond. And you know me, I don't subscribe to the view that, you know, would you take the loss to remove the manager? I don't believe changing the manager is the most important thing at the club. So, yeah, it gives him a little bit of breathing space, and he could have been under a lot of pressure if he hadn't won the game. So I'm happy going into the international break.
Yeah, last thing you want to do is going into an international break on the back of a loss, especially when you're under pressure. Big win for Tottenham as well, away at Leeds. Not an easy place to go to. I thought they're very impressive, Tottenham. They've got this awful record of always losing just before an international break, but very impressive away win. And Mohamed Kudus with the winner, 2-1 winners over Leeds, even though Leeds had chances as well to get back in it. But Tottenham off to a good start.
Well, it went a bit unnoticed, to be honest, because I think because Arsenal and United were playing at 3:00, so you're on to the 3:00 really quick, aren't you, after the lunchtime game? But as you say, a very, very good result for Spurs. Thomas Frank's doing a great job. A bit unnoticed where they are in the top four as well. They're not the Spurs of last year. Forest are the Spurs of last year, as we know, because they've got Ange in charge. But they're doing well. And also with Europe there to navigate as well. I think Thomas Frank's doing a good job at Spurs. And I presume Spurs fans are very happy because I think when I went for a Spurs win in our win, lose or draw, but I felt it was a bit of a risk. So I was very happy to see them to win it quite comfortably in the end. And I think it's been a bit of a harsh reality bite for the newly promoted teams. They've all started well, but this is where, you know, Sunderland didn't really put on a performance at United. Leeds losing at home to Spurs. Well, I'm not saying they're not going to not stay up, but it's a reminder of just how hard the Premier League is week in, week out. Yeah,
and Burnley also, the other ones and newly promoted teams also went down 2-1 at Villa. Brentford lost at home for the first time this season to Man City. Erling Haaland again. This guy's on fire, but that's another good win. We'd expect them to win that game, but it's not an easy place to go to. But another good win for Man City. They really are picking it up now. They're stringing a load of decent results together.
Yeah, I only watched little bits of it. I expected them to win. I suppose the only surprise was that it was only 1-0. But look, there's no way that Brentford were going to get lucky enough for two crap teams from Manchester to come down 2 weeks in a row. And I think in the first half, you know, there was a very big difference to what United did last week. I mean, City could have had that 3 or 4-0 at half time. Brentford made a go of it in the second half, but I mean, ultimately, I don't know about Man City. I mean, what do you think about Man City? I don't think they're in the title race, but at the moment, you know, them and Spurs are up there.
I think as long as Haaland's there, you can't write them off because they score goals, they'll win games. He's the vital player for them. So yeah, they're there, and they are a team. They are a team that sometimes start off slow and then build up a head of steam. So I think they're definitely got to be watched. Arsenal's invincible record still intact after Crystal Palace unbeaten record win.
They could have they could have done it as well. I mean, it's a long way off, but they were looking like a team that could do it. And you've got to give credit to Everton. I mean, I thought when Muniz scored, when Muniz scored, I thought, oh, they're gonna get a good result here. But it's big, like I say, it's a big win for Everton. They're doing really well at their new stadium.
Jack Grealish again.
Good result.
Grealish.
Good result.
Grealish as well. Like, what a signing that's been for them. I mean, he's gone from just being in the shadows at Man City, and he's doing really, really well at Everton. Very unlucky not to get into the England squad, but 2-1 winners there. And another player that's doing very good is Voltemade of Newcastle. Another goal for him. They're not missing Isak at the moment. They're looking at Isak not really performing at Liverpool as of yet, but this guy's hit the ground running. And a big win for Newcastle, 2-0, but a very damaging defeat for Big Ange. Now is that 6 games in a row now, no win. And he is going into the international break on the back of another defeat. The Newcastle fans were singing to him, "You're getting sacked in the morning." The other night, his own fans were singing that to him. He's under a lot of pressure already, Big Ange.
Chelsea next. Porto in the Europa League, who I think are unbeaten, have won every game in Portugal, and then Bournemouth away. So there ain't an easy. There's not an easy game there, and if he's on the edge, I mean, they're tough. But to be fair, I mean, look, I thought the first Newcastle goal was a foul by Bruno Guimaraes. The referee had given a yellow card to a Forest player in the first half for a very similar tackle, so a bit unlucky there. Penalty's a penalty, but you can't. What I don't get is that they basically played a back five for most of that game with Chris Wood up front. Like, there were no threat at all. So again, the question always comes back to, why do you get rid of Nuno? If you're going to go to Newcastle and play like that, why did you get rid of Nuno? I mean, they're not playing attacking football. And Newcastle got the job done. But Newcastle were under pressure themselves. But Forest were never a threat. So Sells was probably a contender to being team of the week. He played really well for them as well. He made 3 really good saves. So they got what they deserved in the end. And I think the whole of football is like, why did he make this change?
It's crazy. And Wolves getting a point against Brighton. They were 1-0 up, but Brighton came back later on, Van Hecker. But Wolves getting a draw there, but still not a great start for them. And as I said, Villa had beaten Burnley earlier in the day. So what have you made of it so far? You know what I mean? So far, right up to this break, what have you made of it? The Premier League.
I predicted Arsenal would win the league, and at the moment that looks like a good shout. Basically because I think they've got the most stable team, and I think the signings have given him a lot of depth, which is obviously needed with the how many injuries we're going to get in the Premier League this year. I don't know who's going to be the main contender to Arsenal. I presume it'll be Liverpool at some point, but then it could be Man City. It could be. I don't think it'll be Spurs. I don't think it'll be Chelsea. So it's interesting. I think the overarching thing for me is just how tight it is. Like, nobody's pulled away yet, and I think that always makes for a very interesting league. That it's really unpredictable. Even Everton beating Palace was the result of the weekend for that, and Chelsea winning it late on against Liverpool. So. The good thing about the Premier League is its unpredictability at the moment, which I think it makes it, far more watchable.
Let's just take a look at the league then. The bottom 3 as it stands is Wolves. Still haven't won a game this season, but a couple of draws for them in the last 2 games, so a bit more encouraging. West Ham, second from bottom, and also Burnley down there in that bottom 3 as well. And just above them on 5 points, Nottingham Forest, and he better start getting some wins very fast. At the top, it's Arsenal at the top on 16 points. Liverpool a point behind, despite the crisis, the so-called crisis, on 15 points. Spurs in third on 14. And Bournemouth, who've been off to a flyer, they're on 14. Manchester City in 5th on 13 points. And Crystal Palace dropped down to 6th place on 12 points, but still very, very early in the season. But starting to shape up a little bit. Let's take a look at our team of the week. In goal, I've got your guy, Laments. Thought he had a very good debut.
Yeah, completely agree. Thought he did very well. I've seen so many Man United goalkeepers panic and be nervous, but he didn't make any worldies, but he just gave some stability and confidence, which I think is something we've not had for 2 years. So I was pleased with him. Yeah.
Okay. Back four. What's yours then? You're already calling me out about my one. What's yours?
Well, I haven't got 3 Arsenal players in it. I struggled with centre back, so I'm happy with Gabriel Saliba. I agree with you, Cucurella at left back. I had put him in.
He
played very well.
He was brilliant.
Right back, I struggled, but I went for the Crystal Palace lad because I think he's really good, Munoz.
Yeah, I went Munoz, but then I was like, but they lost. But all right, let me change it. I'm going to go Munoz.
Timber, he's got Timber again. He's got Timber. I'm surprised you haven't got a picture of Timber on your wall.
I have got. Listen,
he's having a good season, to be fair.
He has been so good though, Mark. Like just like every week, he's just so good. Like he's so solid. I mean, Bowen it didn't get a kick. And you know, and also Calafiori was really good as well. That back four was looking really solid.
That's just midfield. So put Raya in goal as well.
No, I've got Lemons. Midfield. All right, my midfield. I went for Rice, who I thought was excellent in the game. Bruno Guimaraes, who also I thought was excellent in midfield, and you got to have Caicedo in there. I thought again he was exceptional.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that. I mean, I'm sure some people will, but I think, you know, I didn't watch the Arsenal game, so I'll take that. But Caicedo and Bruno Guimaraes, even just for the goals as well. I think when you're a midfielder like that and you're producing goals like that, even though it should have been a foul, Bruno Guimaraes. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah.
And not many teams get decisions at St James's Park. I can tell you that when they're roaring them along. Up front, who did you go for?
So I've gone for Malen. 2 goals against Villa. I like that player. I thought he took his goals really well. Semenyo, brilliant again.
Yeah, I agree with Semenyo.
And I don't want to do Haaland, so I went with Kudos at Spurs.
Okay, I've got 2 of those. So I've gone Semenyo, Kudos, but Esteval of Chelsea. That was a big goal. All right, Marlon, he got a couple of goals. No disrespect, that's against Burnley. But that Esteval goal in the last minute to win that game, that was huge for Chelsea. You saw their manager. And let me tell you, if I hear any Chelsea fan tell me about celebrating things again, right? I mean, I thought, you know, they're always quick to remind Arsenal fans about celebrating. Their manager, he run down the touchline like they've won the Champions League final. But I get it. He's excited.
They'd have been in Maresca out though if they'd lost that game, which is mad. You know, this is football, isn't it? So he's probably like, I'm going to keep my job for a few weeks now.
I kept my job. Oh, I mean, he got sent off for it. He's yet another sending off for them. This time the manager, right? But that Esther, come on, he's got to be in there, Mark. Man, that was huge. That goal.
It was a big goal, but I mean, he didn't start the game, did he? I'd go.
But it doesn't matter. Like the impact.
I know how it works on here. Don't worry. Put Esteval in.
What are you trying to say?
A goal and you win, and it's in a big game, you're okay. But West Ham at home, so it's bloody West. You know, it works. All these Arsenal players in, it's West Ham at home. Poor old Marlon, not only Burnley at home.
No, but listen, Marlon, great, but come on, look at the magnitude of that goal.
I mean, it was a tap in. I think you'd have scored that.
Yeah, but it's still, you got to be there to tap it in, innit? Like, it's still huge. Like that. That's the winning goal against the champions. He's got to be in there.
I know what you're doing. I've played the game. He knows the Chelsea
fans. I'm not playing any game. Look.
He wants to get the Chelsea fans on board.
Listen, I could never get the Chelsea fans on board. Right?
It was a significant goal. To be honest, was it Cucurella who I thought did the cut? I think that was brilliant, really. To not be offside on that was intelligent.
Yeah, I think he's possibly the best left back in the league, Cucurella. He is really good, man. Like, I know a lot of people don't like to dislike him, but because of, you know, his antics sometimes, but he is very good. He's locked down a lot of top players. Salah, even Saka, he's had a few players in his time, man.
He's having a really good sort of 6 months, isn't he? All through the
I thought he was great last season as well. Like, you know, and he's great for Spain. He is a very good player. But yeah, that's our team of the week. Obviously, you guys let us know what you think. Your team of the week, you may agree or disagree. I'm sure you will. So let us know in the comments. We will be back over on That's Football. Well, it's not this week Friday, it'll be the following Friday when we'll be revealing the scores. How did we get on this weekend? I can see by Mark the way he's nodding. He's feeling pretty good about himself.
I did all right, you know, because it was a 3-point gap, you know.
Yeah. All right. We'll see. All will be revealed over on Vats Football. But Mark, thank you very much. And
Cheers.
thank you to you guys. Keep subscribing here on DR Sports and also over on Vats Football. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week.
When Rodri walks, I swear he's like.
It's not pace, but
Why is he talking like he's in Jurassic Park?
I'm taking pounds, I'm taking yen, I'm taking cash dollar, I'm taking naira, I'm taking everything.
You ain't Trent. Hey. You ain't Trent.
I just realised FCM stands for your initials.
FCM on DR Sports. Make sure you guys go and check us out every Sunday. What are you waiting for?
This is FCM on DR Sports, and it's live.